So tonight, what I'm going to talk about is how to set SMART goals. And this is actually something that I heard from a Sapphire ambassador, a day training that I went to a couple months ago. And I had so many takeaways from it, and it completely changed the way that I set goals for my business in a really great way. And I actually did a call from these notes for Ashley's Awesome Ambassadors a couple months ago, right after I had heard the information and it was really fresh. And so I was going back over it for the month of November to really have a great month. And I thought, you know what? This is really great info. Every single time I read over it, I reevaluate the way I'm working my business and the way I'm setting goals for my business. So I think that I would love to share this with them, because when I did the training for Ashley's call, a lot of you weren't on the team at the time, and some of you didn't hear the call, and we didn't record it. So I wanted to go ahead and share it again with you, and I also believe that we can always take something away from something when we hear it another time. You know, it's just like when you read a book, you always take away a new thing, you get a new insight, a new perspective. So I'm a strong believer in that. So I think hearing material again, if you've already heard it, is always great. So I'm going to go ahead. I am recording it for those of the people on our team who weren't able to get on. And then also, if you have people join your team and you feel like they need some help or direction with how to set goals, this would be great to send to them in the messenger or an email. If you have someone who signs up and they say they're ready to get to work and you guys kind of talk about goal setting, this would be great to send the recording, because I'm going to try to keep it short, and then that way that can really help direct them with goal setting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down SMART goals. So if you want to take notes, I suggest to take notes. You can do it in the notes of your phone. That's where I take a lot of my notes to save, to look back on, or take out a pen and some paper. So setting SMART goals. What I want to start by saying in preface is with this quote. Your goals combined with determination and real hard work can give you your dreams. So we always talk about our why, and our why is our dreams, right? That's our dreams. It's what we want. It's what we're striving for. So make sure that you have reevaluated your why, and it's big enough and it's clear enough. And when you start to really put together that equation of your goals plus that determination and that true hard work, your dreams will come true. So SMART goals, I'm going to break it down. The S, the very first thing, the S stands for specific. You want to make sure your goals are specific. What do you want? And what you want, is that written down? I know that I've shared this statistic with you guys before, but 42% of goals that are written down are going to be more likely to be achieved. 42%. So it's super crucial to not only know that goal, but to write down that goal. You cannot succeed without a detailed plan. And I want to give you an illustration to kind of understand that, and to kind of put it into real perspective. Think about when you go traveling. So when you go on a vacation or anything like that, some people like to just pick up and pick a place on the map maybe and just go. Spur of the moment, and they just take off. So the people that do that, let's say we have two scenarios. Let's say we have couple A and couple B. Couple A packs a bag super fast, and they just point their finger on the map and they go. It's going to take them a lot longer to get to their destination than it will for couple B. Let's say couple B takes their time. They plan out their finances. They plan out the time they're going to take off work. They plan out where they're going to go, where they're going to stop, all those things. You guys get what I'm saying. Couple B is going to get to their destination a lot quicker because they're going to already have a plan. They have their plan written out. They have maybe an itinerary. They've already booked stuff ahead of time. Couple A is going to take them quite a while because they're just going to be driving around aimlessly, you know. They might get to a hotel, it might be booked up. Their trip's going to be a lot more, there are going to be a lot more inconveniences that they run into, a lot more bumps in the road because they weren't planned, they weren't prepared. There's also going to be a lot more frustrations that will come along with their journey because they didn't have a written out detailed plan. So you don't want to go floating around like that through your business, like couple A, like the travelers who float around like that, and they don't have a plan. They don't have anything set, written down. They're just kind of floating around. You will not be able to just float your way around to the top of this business as a diamond. You will need a plan, a very specific, clear plan. And with that specific plan, make sure that you've got your very specific why too. That way you can always look back to that and reflect and see, okay, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing it for my baby. I'm doing it for my spouse, whatever it is. I'm doing it for me, whatever it is. Make sure that's very specific, and then make everything else, your road to get there, very specific as well. So if you haven't yet written down your why, if you think you just know why you're doing Plexus, I want to encourage you to write it down. It's very important to write it down, all the little specific details. And then I want to encourage you to take it a step further and post it somewhere where you're going to see it. If you have an office, post it there. If you have a laptop, make it the screensaver or the desktop of your laptop. Put it on the notes of your phone, somewhere where you're going to see it, okay? The M in SMART is measurable. Make sure your goals are measurable. So check off what you're doing as you go. Measure your own success. What is it that you can measure and control? Your work. So you cannot measure or control someone going to your website and clicking join. We have no control over that. As much as we would love to have control over that, we don't, unfortunately. We also can't even control saying, I want to hit gold by, May 31st or whatever it may be. We can't control that. That's completely out of our hands. We can do the work it takes to get there, but we cannot say, I want to hit a certain rank or I want to have a certain number of people by this date, because we have no control over whether or not those people are really going to go to our website and they're going to click join and they're going to do all that we ask them to, right? That's completely out of our hands. But what is it that we can measure? We can measure our daily activity. That's why it's so important to evaluate your IPAs, your income producing activities. What is it that you're doing every single day that you can measure? You can keep a notebook and you can make your Frank's list, right? Your 100 or 200 list. If you don't know what your Frank's list is, go back to your success kit, your welcome kit, and see what that is. It's so important you do those starter steps, so then that way you can work through your list and start talking to people and doing those income producing activities that are measurable. So every single day you could write in your notebook, okay, if you've already got your list written out, you could check off or write the date next to. That's what I did when I first joined. I was writing the date next to the names on my Frank's list of the people that I talked to that day. And then I would check off if I had followed up with them that next week or in 3 days, 5 days, whatever it may be, whatever your system is. Just make sure that's measurable. But that is, if you're writing that down, you can measure that. You can measure how many people you're talking to every single week. You can measure how many people you're talking to every single month. And then at the end of the month, you can look back and evaluate, okay, did my business grow this month? How much did it grow this month? If it didn't, then you can say, okay, I probably need to step it up and talk to more people. Or maybe I'm not following up consistently enough. If you had a great month, that's awesome. Look back and evaluate and say, okay, what did I do? I need to make sure that I can do that again next month and that I consistently can keep up this work. Measure where your points are. Keep track of all of that stuff. Where is your PV? Keep it in a notebook or keep it in the notes of your phone. Write it out where you end every month to make sure that every single month your business is growing and you're not going backwards. And you can look back and say, okay, what did I do that month to get my PV that high? I need to make sure this month, that's my minimum effort that I give. I need to try to give a little bit more every month to make sure that I'm growing. We can measure all of those things. So, and something about measuring everything, every single little thing that you do should should stretch you more and more out of your comfort zone. So our comfort zones are like these little bubbles that we're in, right? And little by little, we can break out of that bubble, or we can just stretch that bubble where it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Sometimes we don't want to. We want to stay nice and cozy in our bubble. But if you do one thing every single day that scares you a little bit or that stretches you a little bit. I heard Diamond Ambassador Bridget Ryan say on a call today, on a training call, every single day you need to do one thing that scares you. And then you will stretch out of your comfort zone to the point where you'll look back a year from now and those things that once scared you won't scare you anymore. She said that she was afraid to even set up a 3-way call or to get on a Zoom or anything like that. She was afraid to even talk to people about Plexus. And now she has over 300 level 1s. That's just her level 1 she's personally recruited. She has over 5,000 on her team. And a year ago, she was afraid to get on a call with someone to talk about Plexus. So just think about that. Because she committed to doing one thing every single day that scared her and stretched her, that comfort zone, that bubble got stretched more and more and more. And now she's extremely confident. She's at the top of our company. So that's just a little example that I can relate to that. The A in SMART is make your goals attainable. So if you want to go Emerald, that's great. You want the free Lexus? Awesome. But is that attainable right now? No. Let's look at what is attainable right now. If that's silver for you, okay, great. How are you going to get there, right? And then that goes back to making things specific and making out a roadmap of how you're going to get there, looking back at how they're measurable, right? And saying, okay, what can I measure every day? 5, 3, 1. I know I can talk to 5 people every day. I can control that. I'm the one sending those messages. I can follow up with 3, and I can watch a training video or participate in a team training on a team page, read some product info, or train someone new that just signed up on my team. Make sure they've got the right information. So make them attainable. Will those things happen, and can they happen? Like going Emerald, going Diamond, yes. Is it okay to say the things? Yes, I say those things. I say I will be Emerald, and I have a certain date, and I have a time frame, and that's fine. That's your bigger picture goal, but make sure when you're really setting those goals for the month of November, for the month of December, to end out 2016, make sure that it is attainable towards your business now and relevant towards your current business now. The R is for relevant. Make sure your goals are relevant. So what do you really, really want? How is that relevant to you? I want to ask you, if time and money were no object, were no issue in your life, if you had no restraints on time and no restraints on money, what would your life look like? Because that is what Plexus can offer us. Have your spouse, your children, whoever, make a vision board with you. Have them dream big with you. Include them and involve them in your dreams. Make it relevant to them too. If you are doing this business for them, tell them and involve them in your dreams and get them excited to dream with you. Don't just dream for them, but make it a fun family experience. If you guys were, I think I did a call when we got back from Leaders Retreat, and I shared how Carrie Wilkerson, our guest speaker, said that our spouse and our children, they are our shareholders in our business with us. And we need to sit down and we need to share with them how important this business is to us and how important it is to make these goals happen. Whatever it is that we want to happen. If it's a certain number, a certain salary that you need to pay for a certain bill, then you need to share that with them. If it's something, like you need the car because you only have one car that you're sharing in your family, share that with them and tell them that's why, I'm getting on these calls at night. That's why I'm sacrificing an hour out of my day, getting up an extra hour early, whatever it may be. Maybe I'm on my phone a little bit more, but I'm doing it because I've got these dreams for our family to, bring dad home, bring mom home, to not have to pay for daycare anymore, to quit my job, whatever it may be, to get out of debt, to not have to pay student loans. Let them dream big with you, involve them, and make a vision board. That would be a great activity to do as a couple, as a family, and post it somewhere you'll see it. That way it keeps you accountable, and then it's relevant to you and your family while you're going throughout this journey with your business with Plexus. So, and think of it this way, one of the best things that you can do for the people in your life that are closest to you is to show them to dream, right? I mean, think about it. We always are told when we're little, when we're in kindergarten, even smaller than that, probably if you had parents like mine, who said to you, you can do anything you want. You can be anything you want. And some of us probably say that to our own kids. But what about us? When did we stop believing that about ourselves, that we really can do and be anything we want? It's true. And in your Plexus business, you can do anything you want with it. You can work as little or as much as you want. I'm not your boss. You are your own boss. You bought into an opportunity that we all paid the same exact price for. The diamonds in this company who are now making six figures, they spent the same $34.95 that we did. They have the exact same products that we can share and the exact same compensation plan that we can share. So get with your family, teach your kids, teach your spouse how to dream, and that it's a great thing to dream, and it's not anything someone should ever be ashamed of, okay? T, the last thing in SMART is the T, and it's for time measured. So if you have a date that you have in mind for when it is that you want to hit that next rank, or when it is that you want to be a jewel in this company, circle the date on every single calendar that you can find in your house. Buy a planner, circle the date on it, star it. Make an alarm on your phone, and then go ahead and work 1 hour of your business every single day with no distractions. Have you guys heard about this? The Power Hour? I think we've talked about it a little bit before, and I know the Slim Sisters have talked about it, but it's going to be one of the biggest shifts in your business in the most positive way if you implement a Power Hour. Yes, we can work Plexus into the nooks and crannies of our day. I promise you we can. When I first joined, I was working full-time, and I was also in grad school full-time, and I didn't let that stop me. I don't think I actually even sat and worked for full-on hours straight. I made it work into the nooks and crannies of my day. So if you need to do that, you can, yes. But I will tell you something. I see a shift when I actually take the time to sit, and for an hour straight, I do nothing but solid IPAs. I do only the income producing activities. So if you want to do a Power Hour, which I strongly suggest if you're serious about meeting these goals in your business, is to have a Power Hour where you do nothing but IPA work. Go ahead, and I was talking to a Sapphire ambassador, Melissa Martin, when I met her at a training I went to, and she said that she puts her phone in the airplane mode. And that way she makes sure that her kids can't call her, her spouse can't call her, nobody can bother her, because she is simply doing what she's supposed to be doing to make money in her business. She is reaching out to people, she's talking to people, she's doing what she needs to do. She's not getting sucked into Facebook scrolling, because that's not income producing. That's the worst thing. She's not getting sucked into taking an hour to formulate a post to make sure it looks good and it intrigues people, because really that's not where you're going to get people. It's going to be when you're actually messaging people, you're calling people, you're texting people, you're direct messaging them on Instagram, personally messaging them on Facebook. So take time to do the income producing activities for a solid hour. Sit down and have that Power Hour. You will be amazed at what you can actually do without distractions, without getting up, getting a snack, going to the bathroom, doing this, doing that. If it means you have to wake up an hour before your kids, do it. I've heard so many diamonds say that that's what they do. If you have to stay up an hour later, do it. Whatever you can do, fit it in, make it happen. I promise you'll see a great shift in your business. Make deadlines for yourself. Corporate America has deadlines, right? They also treat people in corporate America at jobs like that, they treat it like the true business that it is. So we need to treat Plexus like the true business that it is, because it is a wonderful and remarkable business. We have the best compensation plan out there, hands down. So treat it like the business that it is. Give yourself a deadline. Don't let yourself just get sucked into all the other things and all the other distractions of social media, even training videos, guys. You can get sucked in. I've been there, to where you're watching training video after training video. But the training videos are no good if we can't actually apply it to our business and start applying it to our work, right? If we're just listening to all this information, but we're not turning around and using it by talking to people and growing ourselves, then it's no good. So give yourself a deadline, just like corporate America, because why would we not do the same thing for our business? We're treating this like a business. We are asking and wanting the kind of financial benefits that they get in a business like that. So if we want to get paid like a real business, then we need to treat it like a real business. If you want to treat it like a hobby, you will get paid like a hobby. Okay. And one big thing about your time measured is be intentional. So be very, very intentional about your work and when you're working, the time you are working, and set boundaries. So set boundaries with your family, set boundaries with your friends. Let them know, hey, I am going to go work for 30 minutes. Please, to your spouse, if you can, take care of the baby, get them up from their nap, whatever it is, feed them. If it's to your friend, hey, I'm not going to be able to call you today because I've got to dedicate time to my business because I'm making a better life for my family. Every single thing that you do every day for your Plexus business, every single income producing activity that you do is you being intentional, getting one step closer to your why. Okay? Think of it that way. Every single sacrifice, every single late night, every single training call, every single time that you reach out to someone and they ignore you and maybe it hurts a little, or maybe you get a no, right? That's you getting one step closer to your dreams because you're being dedicated, you're determined, just like that quote in the beginning that I said, and you're putting in that real hard work. Your dreams will come. I want to share a quote with you. It's, if you can look up, get up and get to work. So I hope that encourages you every day that if we can get up and we can look up, we should be so blessed and so thankful that we have this opportunity in our hands. It really is a true blessing. And guys, any bad day with Plexus is, in my opinion, so much of a better day than it would be a bad day in a real job, right? If I was having to sit in a cubicle or something like that, or if I was in a classroom somewhere that my heart truly didn't want to be, any bad day that I'm going to have with this business beats out any kind of good day that I would have there where I really don't want to be. You guys know what I'm saying? So you have to really believe that we have the best opportunity and a life-changing opportunity in your hands. And we can come to that opportunity in our Plexus business every single day to share that with people, to be a blessing to them as well. Just like Alec Clark says, if you've been blessed, be a blessing. I have been blessed by this business. My family has been blessed by this business. And I want to share it with others so that way it can be a blessing to them too. I want to tell you one last thing. It's something that I learned. It's called tipping the scale. So if you are, let's say you kind of feel like you're in a rut, or you feel like you're only getting no's, or maybe you're only getting crickets, or maybe you're just feeling really negative and you're feeling like your mindset's just negative and everything's wrong, shipping is delayed, or maybe your back office messed up, anything like that. Okay, so if you have a scale, you're letting the negativity outweigh the positivity big time, right? So I want to encourage you to apply this to your business and think about it. Anytime that you have a negative thought towards your business in any way that you feel like quitting or you feel like giving up, or maybe you just don't feel like working that day and you're letting your feelings take over your decisions and your mind, I want you to tip the scale. And I want you to be very intentional about thinking about all the positivities. Be positive and start thinking about, wow, I have this awesome opportunity and I have the ability to change my family's life while I get to stay at home or wherever it may be from your phone. I have the freedom to make up to 6 figures plus just simply by talking to people on my phone. How amazing is that? So I want to encourage you. I really like that analogy of tipping the scale. Anytime that you kind of feel like a negative thought is coming in your mind, think of it like a scale. Are you going to let the negative outweigh the positive, or are you going to let the positive come up and beat out the negative? I really like that. So if you are letting that happen, I hope you're not, and I hope you use that analogy for you. And remember, if you are spending any time watching someone else's journey, you are missing out on your own. So when they say keep your blinders on, put your blinders on, look forward, and go run your own race. Don't be looking at other people's journeys. Do what you need to do to get to where you want to be, to where you want to take your family. So that's it for SMART goals, and I want you to just think about what are your goals today. Just kind of, I want to encourage you to reevaluate your goals, reevaluate why you're doing Plexus, and figure out, once you figure out your why, your true why you're doing this, I want you to really figure out and use this SMART goal setting way to apply it to your business and apply it to how you're going to get there and how you're going to get to that why. Okay? That's all I have to share tonight for setting SMART goals, and I'm going to open it up for any questions.